Okay, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Bonus Points. We have a very long episode again today, as you all know. We run in with another condensed episode. The middle game week just finished for the Premier League. That would be game week 14. So right now we're just waiting on whoever win the prize from our PM side to just get your points up. Basically, I'm waiting on the app to calculate everybody's points, and hopefully soon this weekend we should be announcing who won that prize. I already mentioned there's another condensed episode, and what I didn't mention yet is that the deadline for game week 15 is going to be on Saturday's morning. So, as I usually recommend, you should probably set your team by tonight, Friday night, just so that in case you don't wake up in time on Saturday morning, at least your team would already be set. So get your transfers locked in already. Make those transfers, get them confirmed. You don't really have much time to think about it, so I hope you've been thinking already. And set your captain, vice captain, set the team, formation, lineup, everything. Make sure everything is good to go for game week 15. But as we usually do, we're going to jump straight into our game week 14 recap. I'm going to try to make this one quick. We'll try to just mention the important talking points. And let's go ahead and start with Norwich versus Newcastle. The main thing that I want to say here is that although Pukki and Callum Wilson scored in this game, I don't think that there's much reason to get attracted to these two. I know that they've been somewhat in form, especially Pukki, but I don't really think that we need to get too attracted to them. They both have different reasons for that. In Pukki's case, I think that Norwich don't really have the best fixtures coming up. So with harder games, harder defenses, it's obviously going to be harder for him to score goals. And also, I think around that price point is just it have better options than Teemu Pukki, and we'll get into those guys later. And then at Callum Wilson at 7.4, 7.5 even, I think that there are much better options around that price point as well. So even though Callum Wilson has 2 easy games coming up and then some difficult ones, I still don't think that we should be going for him, because I think that there are better strikers at that price point to set us up for the future. Secondly, I want to go into Leeds versus Crystal Palace. Again, not too much to talk about here. There's not much to mention about Leeds. They didn't look fantastic on the day. They look good, especially when they attack through Rafinha, but that's just how they always look, and there's nothing new to talk about there. I think Gallagher really is the real deal, though. I think he's going to be fantastic for FPL as well. He comes in at a pretty affordable price. I think he's 6.1 or 6.2 right now. He's on all of these set pieces, corners, free kicks, and the ball gets to him a lot as well. So I think Conor Gallagher is a really good FPL asset. I think Zaha was very involved in that game as well. So I think Wilfred Zaha, as we know, on the penalties, will be a good one to go for as well. Chelsea versus Watford. Let's start off with Watford. I think that they played much better than we expected. They basically played without fear, and that's how they've been playing in the Premier League so far. They are a very attacking team. They come from the philosophy that, y'all might score 5 on us, but we'll try to score 6 on y'all and win the game. And they just attack so freely that I think it makes sense to go after some of their attackers, specifically Josh King and Emmanuel Dennis. Dennis is a little bit cheaper than King, but King is also on the penalties. They both come at under 6 million. And for forwards, I think that's just fantastic value. I understand that they play for Watford, but it seems like they won't be rotated too much. King especially, because he is at number 9. The reason that I think King is a little bit better than Dennis right now, even though Dennis is more in form and maybe Dennis might be the better player, I think King is better for FPL because he has the penalties and also because of how central he plays. Dennis seems to be on either the left wing or the right wing, and he's also scoring some pretty nice goals, whereas King seems to get a little bit more service. So personally, King is the one that I would go for, but if Dennis is the type of player that you like, then I think you should go for Emmanuel Dennis, for sure. Lukaku is a little bit worrying at the moment because he came on, but I thought he didn't look too sharp again. I'm also not sure about him over this Christmas break, if he'll be able to play week in, week out. So Lukaku is someone that I'll stay away from for now, until he gives us a reason to think otherwise. Alonso also had me a little bit worried during that game. I felt like he didn't really get off to his best start, but I understand he hasn't really played football in a long time now, so he may just be wiping some of the rest away. I thought that he was good when the team was in transition. He made himself a pretty good outlet, especially for those 2 goals. He was a key figure in both of those goals. He got the pass before the assist. So I thought that Alonso did well in the attacking phase of the game, but defensively not so good, and his ball retention was not the best either. I hope that he's not playing too bad for Tuchel to consider dropping him, because that'll just be terrible for our teams. But for now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll actually consider taking him out in a few weeks. So yeah, not so sure about what's going on with Marcus Alonso. West Ham versus Brighton. I'm not going to talk about Brighton because there's no one that we should be getting from that team. I think Antonio is really out of form at this particular point in time. He didn't really look too sharp in that game. He didn't get too many shots off. He just didn't look broken as he usually does. But he does have some nicer fixtures coming up in about 2 weeks. So I still think if you have Antonio, he's definitely one to hold. If you don't have him, he's someone to bring in the next 2 weeks. Wolves versus Burnley. I don't think there's anything new to talk about here. The only thing that I'd like to mention is that I think it's time, if you have Wolves assets still, it's time to drop them because Wolves are coming up in a sticky part of their season. Southampton versus Leicester. This game was pretty exciting. Finished 2-2. I think Livramento is finally coming back down to reality. Doesn't mean that he's playing bad. It just means that Southampton are not keeping any clean sheets. He's not winning penalties. He's not making assists or scoring goals. So doesn't really mean that he's a bad asset. If you have him, you might as well keep him. But he's back to being a bench player basically. And from Leicester, yes, Maddison went ahead and scored again, but still think that we need to look at him a little bit more before we could go ahead and put our money into buying Maddison. Aston Villa versus Manchester City. City managed to win this one. Aston Villa did look okay, but as we expect from City, they bossed the entire game. Bernardo Silva scored again. I think Bernardo Silva is someone that, as you'll hear me mention later on in this episode, is someone that you should be going after. I think Bernardo Silva is looking pretty good. He should be on to start most of these games over the Christmas period, and City just have a fantastic run of fixtures. So Bernardo Silva, definitely one to get into your team from all now if you could. And then Ollie Watkins went ahead and scored, but I don't think that he's someone that we need to target. Similar reason to Callum Wilson. There's just better options at that price point. Everton versus Liverpool. I'm not even going to talk about this game because, yeah, Liverpool scored 4 on Everton. Who didn't see that coming? Salah scored twice. We all saw that coming. The only thing that I'll say is that if you don't have Jota as yet, you should definitely go and get him. And, yeah, keep your armband on Salah for the rest of the game until he goes to the AFCON. Spurs versus Brentford. This game finished not too long ago, and I thought that Spurs are looking better and better every week. The more that work that Conte gets to do with them, the more adjusted to the system that they look. I think that Reguilon is a good one to look out for in the future, or even to look out for now. They have a very good game coming up next week against Norwich, and it's at home. I believe it's at home. Okay, I'm not sure if it's at home, but I know that they play Norwich over the weekend. Son looked pretty good. Kane looked out of it. Emerson Royale, just stay away from that guy. He sucks. But Reguilon looked pretty good on the day. And then finally, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Okay, United won at Old Trafford. Unlucky for all the Arsenal fans. Unlucky for John. Quick shout out to John there if you're watching this. I think Arsenal looked pretty well though. And I think that Emil Smith-Rowe is definitely someone to target. If you don't have him, you should probably look to get him. On the other hand, Ronaldo scored a brace. He's also back on the penalties, so that's great for us. He did not really have a good game when it comes to his touches and open plays, decision makings and whatnot. He wasn't even that involved, but then he scored a brace. So it's the emotional Ronaldo thing, basically. In terms of FPL, I'm considering getting him for these reasons. I mean, it's United. They tend to win a lot of pens. If he's going to be on penalties, we expect him to score most of these pens. And he's a pretty good finisher, as he showed for his open play goals today. So, yeah. That's it for the recap on game week 14. And I would like to talk about some quick possible transfers that we could be making for game week 15. The first one I want to talk about is Jimenez and Hwang. As I kind of mentioned before, Wolves, it's looking a little bit difficult for them. They haven't really scored too much in their last couple of games, and now they're going to be facing much harder defenses. So if you have Jimenez, if you have Hwang, I think it's time to take them out this week. And some of the guys that I could look at, I think Christian Benteke is looking pretty good for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace on a whole are attacking pretty well. Benteke did not start in the last game. I think he just got a rest, which is fine. But when he came on, he changed the whole game. I think Josh King, as I mentioned before, could also be another good one to go for. And in the short term, maybe Ollie Watkins, but only in the short term. Another one that a lot of people still seem to have is Said Benrahma. If you haven't got this guy out as yet, I assume that it's only because he had other fires to put out and not because they really believe in Benrahma, because the fact is he hasn't been looking that good for a while now. And I think Smith-Rowe, Gallagher, and even Jared Bowen could be guys that we could be targeting. I spoke about Smith and Gallagher already, but Jared Bowen looks like a bit of a sideways move. Trust me, it is not. We expect Jared Bowen to be getting a lot of minutes over the Christmas period. He is a very fit player, and he's also very much involved in the attacking phase of West Ham's. He's very involved in West Ham's attacks. I don't know what has happened. He's also on a few set pieces, and I think that edges him over Said Benrahma. He also takes a lot more shots than Benrahma, so that's good. Some of the players that we could be bringing in, I think Diogo Jota. I have mentioned him a lot in the past. I want to mention him quickly again. Diogo Jota is definitely someone that you want to bring in as soon as possible this game week, if you could. This game week, because Liverpool are scoring. They have an average of, I think, 3 goals scored per game for the Prem so far. It's something like 42 or 46 goals they scored so far in just 14 games. So that's insane. And we expect Jota to be a big part of the attack for the long term. So I think that you should be getting him in from all now. Bernardo Silva is another one playing for an extremely attacking team. And the spaces that he tends to occupy within the game are very good for shooting. And this is kind of how he manages to score a lot of his goals. Just a late run into the box and ball cuts back towards him and he could score. That being said, it also looks like he's going to be starting a lot over the Christmas period. And that's exactly what we want from our Manchester City asset. I think Reguilon is someone else that we could be looking at to bring in. I think that Conte is starting to influence the team a little bit more now. We see them defending a little bit smarter. They're very quick to win back the ball. Mind you, they only played against Brentford. I get it. Newly promoted team and all that. But they were very quick to win back the ball every time that I turned over. I thought that they defended Brentford pretty well and reduced them to shots from outside the box, basically. A lot of hit and hope attempts from Brentford. And aside from the clean sheets that I think Reguilon is going to be getting, I also expect a lot of attacking returns. Since Conte has been there, this guy has a goal and an assist already in only 3 games. So I think that's pretty good stuff from Reguilon. And then finally, Reece James is one that I think we should target. With Marcus Alonso being not up to game speed as yet, I think that Reece James is going to be a very important part of this defense as long as he's fit. He is carrying a knock right now, so maybe you won't want to bring him in immediately. And Chelsea does have a tough game against West Ham, which are a very attacking team. But I think after this weekend, we could definitely be looking at bringing Reece James into the mix. I think Aspi, he played wing back over the weekend. I don't think that he offered that much. I really think that Reece James is an integral part to the system right now, and he's going to play as much as he can. Finally, onto the important section. Let's talk about the captains. I'm going to start the captains as the same way that I started it the last time and the time before and the time before that. Let's just get it out of the way. You already know who I'm going to talk about. Salah, Jota and Trent. They go up against Wolves, but honestly, it doesn't matter who they go up against because this team is scoring so much goals that you have to target their attacking players. I think Salah is the obvious one, as he has been over the past 4 or 5 game weeks. Salah is the obvious choice for captain, and he's going to be my captain this weekend. But if you wanted to try something different, maybe a little bit low in the ranks, so I feel like this is a good time to go against the grain, Jota or Trent could be pretty good. Wolves have shown that they're not the best attack out there, and Liverpool is one of the best defenses in the league right now. So I think the clean sheet should be on. Personally, I think I'll go for Trent over Jota, but with Diogo Jota being the striker in a highly creative team, it's very hard to deny him the captaincy right now. But Trent, I think that the clean sheet should be coming, and we know how creative Trent is as well. The assist set is always there for Trent. So I think he could be a pretty good captain as well. But if for some reason you're thinking that Liverpool is not the team to go against, especially against Wolves, who have kept some clean sheets in their last couple of games, I get it. Let's look at other teams. We got Son versus Norwich. I think Son had an excellent game today. He created a lot of chances, especially through crosses. I think he was unlucky to have his assist taken away, but upon closer inspection, yeah, it probably was not his assist. But then he managed to score a goal later on in the game. He had a couple of shots throughout the game as well that I thought were pretty good shots. forced out one or two good saves out of their keeper. One in particular with his left foot from outside the box that went to the bottom corner. The keeper made a good save there. I think Son is going to be equally as dangerous against Norwich, and I believe that they are playing at home. So this is all the much better for Tottenham Hotspur. And then finally, I'd like to talk about Manchester City going up against Watford. Watford is a very leaky defense right now, and I expect City to play all over them. I think Watford is the perfect team for Manchester City because we know that when teams like to attack City, that is exactly what City wants to play against. Because as you try to attack a team, spaces open up, and City are the kings of exploiting space. So I think that this scoreline could actually get pretty ugly for Watford. I think that the smarter move for Watford, tactically speaking, would be to sit back, but I don't think that that's in their DNA, and I expect City to really run up the score here. We're looking at captaining maybe Cancelo. The only doubt about Cancelo is, does he start? I'm not sure. If he doesn't start, would he come on? He honestly might. We saw that Kyle Walker got rested in the last game, but Cancelo has not rested the entire season so far. I don't see why they would want to rest him now. So I think Cancelo could be a good option. I think Bernardo Silva is another good option. Simply because I expect, again, City to be transitioning quickly. And I think that the spaces that Bernardo Silva occupies, it would be good for a team in transition for him to be the point to score the goals. So him and Gundogan, basically. So yes, these are my this is my advice for the captains. This was my recap of last weekend, and this was some of the players that I thought that you should be transferring in for this weekend and for the future. Tried not to keep this episode too long. I know I kind of rambled on, but that is just how it's going to have to be for the December period, because these game weeks are coming thick and fast, and I'm honestly trying my best. Until next time, I hope your captain scores a hat-trick. Please have a good weekend and enjoy the football, and just enjoy general life as well, okay? Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all again possibly on Tuesday. Goodbye.